press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.
Hi students, welcome back to yet another session of English grammar. Today we are going to study what is verb, what are verbs and how do they help us. For your exam point of view, you get it for 4 marks as a question like this. Fill in the blanks with the suitable form of the verbs given in the brackets. Just like articles and prepositions, you will be given clues in the bracket. You will have to change the form, change the tense and then write the suitable form of the verb. So we are going to study in definition what is a verb and how many divisions of a verb are there. This is a background knowledge that you must know in order to solve any other sentence that is there. Maybe in your workbook, maybe what comes in your question paper, maybe anything around even while you speak. While you speak, you have to get your tenses right and you have to place the verbs, the nouns, the adjectives properly. So these are basic grammar. This is something that is basic and it is taught for a very long time. You are aware of what's a noun, what's a verb, what's an adjective, adverb, pronoun, noun, everything. But every year there needs something that you have to again brush it up. Because there is a tendency to forget the terms properly, forget the tenses right. So that is why we are going to brush up today first on what is a verb and the different kinds of verbs there, how you can use it in a sentence, and then we will see a few of the examples and then move on to the rest of the things that we have to do with regard to your workbook and with regard to the examples that I have to give you. Alright, now what can be defined? What's a noun? Noun is something that's used in place of a name, place or thing. Now, this verb is something which shows the action or state of being. I'll write a definition for you. Alright, verb is defined. You can take down notes, students, for your reference. I suggest it's better you take down as I write it on the board, at least 1 or 2 examples when I'm writing down so that you can connect the things with examples. Always try to connect any theory with examples which makes you remember better. So here likewise, when I'm writing on the board, I think you must copy it down or you must make notes of your own as you understand of how I am trying to make you understand. Alright, is defined as a word, alright, which shows action or state of being. That is any action. Now my action, I am moving, I am teaching, I am talking, is an action that I am doing. I am waving my hand, is an action that I am doing. State of being, I am standing, my state of being. Okay. Now for example, this bottle I am holding the bottle. Alright. Then if I have to keep this, I am keeping it. It's a state of being. But if I am moving, then I am doing some kind of an action. I am drinking, I am eating, I am bathing, I am singing, I am teaching, I am writing. Is a continuous action that you are doing. And that in the continuous tense forms your state of action. When you are still, your state of being, wherever you are. Alright? Now, this basically shows us what a noun or a pronoun does. Okay? So, you could write it like this. Important role, plays an important role in showing, plays an important role in showing what a noun or pronoun is doing or does. In showing what a noun or pronoun does or is doing. Okay? So noun, examples for noun like this. Noun is name place of a person or a thing. Gandhiji is the father of the nation. Gandhiji is a noun. India is my country. India is a noun. Mumbai is a big city. Mumbai. The train moves fast. The train. Train is a noun. Bangalore is the capital. Bangalore. Her name is Geeta. Geeta is the noun. Where do you use a pronoun? Pronoun is used instead of a noun. Like he, she, it, I, they, them. Okay. So you can write down in case you have forgotten what is a noun and a pronoun also. Because in order to connect these things, you have to get your tenses right and then you have to get your verbs right. Before you know your verbs, you should know what's a noun and a pronoun. So you write down this again. Noun is used in place or used for, used as names of place, okay, person, or thing. Just like, remember this game that we play, name, place, animal, thing, okay? Take that as now, the game that we play, isn't it? Name, place, animal, thing. Name, you are writing somebody's name, you are writing the name of a place, you are writing an animal, you are writing a thing. Alright, pronoun. Used in place of a noun. What are the pronouns? He, she, it, they, them, okay? He, she, it, I, we, theirs, okay? And so on and so forth. I, she, he, it, we, they, them, all pronouns, alright? Okay. Now, see certain examples for noun and pronoun likewise. John is absent because he is ill. John is a noun. John is absent because he is ill. So there is a noun, there is a pronoun also. John is a noun because he is ill. He is a pronoun. See another examples. The books are where you left them. The books are where you left them. Them is a pronoun. The baby cried because it was hungry. It. The baby cried because it was hungry. Sita helps her mother. Sita helps. Can you say Sita helps Sita's mother? No. That is why instead of saying Sita helps Sita's mother, instead of that Sita, her is added. Now these pronouns come handy when you have to use a double noun. When nouns cannot be used twice. You can't say, isn't it? Sita is helping Sita's mother. Sita is helping her mother. Alright? He is my brother. His name is Alex and he is my brother. Or this is Alex and he is my brother. Okay? He is a pronoun. Alright. We'll see, I'll rub this noun and pronoun. Okay. Now, what I want you to see here is, we'll see few examples of verbs first. Basic see. Eat, play, run, dance, sing, teach, bathe, then sit, stand, walk. Basic words, isn't it? Day-to-day routine what we do, basic words. See their example. The girl eats mangoes. Eats. Or the girl is eating mangoes. Put them in all the tenses possible. The girl has eaten, the girl is eating, the girl will eat, okay? Then, Thomas is telling a story. Thomas is telling a story. What is he doing? He is telling you. He is giving some action. Alright? Ramesh is dancing. Ramesh, an action of Ramesh is being shown. What is Ramesh doing? Ramesh is dancing. He runs very fast. He is running very fast. He runs very fast. Okay? Run. The basic word run is done into runs and running, but is basically showing an action of his movement of running. The boy is playing football. The boy is playing football. He is playing. The cat killed the mouse. The cat killed the mouse. Killed is an action that is over. She wrote a letter. She wrote, or she is writing a letter. She is writing a letter, a continuous tense that is there. She writes books. Okay? She writes. Maybe she is writing today, she is writing tomorrow, she is writing any time, but she writes. She teaches. Now if you tell she is teaching, she teaches. I can teach today, tomorrow or whenever, I am still teaching. My action of teaching will remain. But it can happen anytime. It's not that all the 24 hours I am teaching, isn't it? That action she teaches English. My teaching of English may not be all throughout round the clock, but that action remains. Alright? The peon opened the gate. The peon opened the gate. The driver is driving the bus. The driver is driving the bus. Then, the students are singing melodiously. The students are singing. Then, the students are very naughty in their class. The students act very naughty in their class. One form of action, your naughtiness is one form of action that you show. Then, the boys are running. The boys are running. The girls are playing. The children are dancing. Anything, any action that you do is a verb. Alright, moving on, I want you to write something called as an auxiliary verb. Auxiliary verbs are also known as helping verbs. Auxiliary verbs are also known as helping verbs. Helping, you need some assistance, isn't it? That is how. Now, take auxiliary verbs like this. I want to write. I want to do some kind of an action, but without this piece of chalk, I can't do it. So, I need a helping hand. I need something that is extra with me. So, this forms like an auxiliary verb. My chalk becomes like an auxiliary verb which helps me to fulfill my action of writing on the board. Alright, write it, auxiliary verbs. Which are also known as helping verbs. Auxiliary or helping verbs. Just give me a second. Auxiliary verbs or helping verbs. Now, auxiliary verbs are giving you more information about the main verb that is there. Okay. Now, if I have to give you an example, Albert is writing a letter to his girlfriend. Albert is writing. Is becomes an auxiliary verb. She is teaching with the help of a chalk and a board. With there becomes a preposition. Prepositional ways of verbs I will tell you later. But she is teaching. You are listening. Are, is, am, all are auxiliary verbs. We'll write them down. They are here. You write. Okay. Put this up. Gives further information. Gives further information about the main verb. This is auxiliary verb. John. John is a verb there. John is a noun there. John is becomes auxiliary verb. John is writing becomes a verb. John is a noun. Is becomes an auxiliary verb and writing becomes a verb, main verb. Okay. Now there are forms of these. Basic three forms that are there: be, do and have. Okay. Be, do and have. Basic three auxiliaries are be, do, have. Now, under this be, do, have, be, do and have. Under this be, do and have, there are other ways you can put it, or other ways to show the forms of be, the forms of do, the forms of have. I want you to take down the forms of be, do, have. Alright? Be, is, am, okay, are, was, were not, or weren't. Okay. Now there is a difference between this. I want you to know this. Where and were. Where are you going? Where were you till 5 p.m.? Where were. W-E-R-E is were. W-H-E-R-E is where. Where and were. Alright. So, are, was, were, weren't, were not, weren't or were not, one and the same. Alright. Then, being and been. Being and been. Be, is, am, are, was, were, weren't or were not, being and been is the form of be. Form of do, does, did, okay, do, does, did, doing, done, doing, done, didn't, doesn't, didn't or did not, doesn't or does not, doesn't or does not, alright, these are forms of do. Do, does, did, doing, done, didn't or did not, doesn't or does not. Then forms of have, has, had, having, hadn't or had not. Alright, had or had not. Have, has, had, having, hadn't or had not. Correct. So forms of be you see here. Be, is, am, he is a good boy, I am a good man, you are a good singer, I was in the park yesterday, where were you? You weren't concentrating in my class. He is being too polite. Where have you been? Can you get that example there? Where have you been? Do, forms of do. How does this work? Okay. Did you bring a packet of milk? What are you doing? Have you done your work? He did not bring his bag. Or he didn't bring his bag. He doesn't seem cruel. Or does not seem cruel. So do. Have. They have fruits in the basket. He has a puppy. They had a baby last year. I'm having fun over here. Had not. He had not been regular to office. Okay? So you'll have to think out of the examples. That's what I had to also do. So these are forms. If you want to take it down, please take it down as soon as possible. Form of be. Be, is, am, are, was, were not, were, being and been. Do, does, did, doing, done, didn't, did not, or doesn't, or does not. Have, has, had, having, hadn't, had not. I've given you examples. You can look it up and see again. Alright. Now, I told you Albert is writing a letter to his girlfriend. Albert is writing. Okay, before the verb, before the action that is shown, auxiliary verb comes here. Is like a helping verb. Now, Albert writing a letter to his girlfriend. Can you say that? See, there is a pronoun also, his girlfriend. Can you say Albert writing a letter? No. Make use of these helping verbs that are there. Albert is writing. Alright? Instantly he was excited and booked the bus. Instantly he was excited and booked the bus. He was excited. Excited is an action there. And booked the bus. Booking the bus is an action there. Alright? Bus becomes a noun. Jerry has bought a new shirt. Jerry has. What is has? Has. Jerry has bought a new shirt. Alright? If he doesn't arrive on time, he'll have to take a flight. If he doesn't arrive on time, he will have to take a flight. Doesn't arrive on time, he will have to take a flight. Okay? Be at your best. Then, other examples. Okay. I want the work done by tomorrow morning. I want to get the work done by tomorrow morning. I'm having some pain on my right foot. Okay, some pain on my right foot. You will be doing the speech tomorrow, or you will be doing the cooking tomorrow. Doing. We are a group of friends. We are a group of friends. I have been to London. Do you remember this rhyme? Where have you been? I have been to London to see the Queen. Okay? Pussycat, pussycat, where are you? I've been to London, isn't it? This been there, helping verb. See there, I've been to London to see the Queen. There is an article there. I remember that rhyme when I saw been here. Alright, then any more examples I can give you here? He hadn't been faithful to his sister. He hadn't been faithful to his sister. He doesn't show up on time. He doesn't show up on time. You weren't like this before. You weren't like this before. I can give you n number of examples, students. I'm giving you some and then I'll stop here. Then I'm supposed to leave to Mumbai next week. I'm supposed to leave to Mumbai next week. She is a sweetheart. She is a sweetheart. Then how did you get your business running? How did you get your business running? He must be done, okay, he must be done by evening. If he has to complete some work, he must most probably be done by evening. Have a cup of coffee. Have a cup of tea. Okay? He has been to the States. He has been to the States, or he has gone to the States. Alright. Now we stop at this. You frame your own examples. Form of be, do, have are auxiliary verbs or helping verbs. Alright. We'll go to the next one. Okay, the next one is called as the modal auxiliaries. Modal auxiliaries, write that under the auxiliary verbs itself. What is it? Modal auxiliaries. The modal auxiliaries are like this. Can, could, will, would, shall, should. Can, could, will, would, shall, should. Okay, may, might, must. May, might, must, ought. Okay, ought, shall, should, will, would. Okay, can, could, will, would, shall, should, may, might, must, ought. Okay, may, might, must, ought to. You ought to finish that work. You ought to come and meet me tomorrow. Okay? You should come and meet me tomorrow. It would be grateful if you do this for me. See the modal auxiliaries. These are modals. Okay? Modal auxiliaries. Alright, so these are the ones. Can you do it for me? Could you please lift the desk for me or along with me? You will be present at the party. If you would have given me a chance, I could have done it better. We shall meet in the evening, or we shall go for the party. She should be appreciated often. She should be appreciated often so that she could have performed better, or she could perform better. You may be in confusion. Not maybe. May I have your permission? You may take this from me. Not maybe, okay? Maybe is another one. You may take this from me. I may give you, or I might give you. Probability there. May and might. He might try, not very sure. May is little about that. Little surety is there. He might agree. Now if you go to the boss and if you're asking a colleague, will he sign my resignation or will he sign my leave letter? He might sign. He may sign is some kind of a surety. Might is not that much. He might show up for the party. He may. But he will show up for the party is for sure that he is going to come. We must go out together. We must go out together. You ought to bring a packet of chocolates tomorrow. You ought means you have to do it. Okay? You ought to get a packet of chocolates tomorrow. You ought to meet me near the junction. You ought to do this. You have to do the assignments assigned. Are you getting me? Modal auxiliaries or modal auxiliaries. Now, we'll see some examples. I assured him that I would meet him at the cafe. I assured him that I would meet him at the cafe. I would have. I've given my word that I will meet him, so I would have met him. See the tenses used there. Unless you get your tenses thorough, you will not understand the sentence formations that are done. We shall meet right here at 8 p.m. We shall meet here, right here. We shall meet right here at 8 p.m. You must finish your work. That means you have to do it. You must finish your work. Or you must finish the syllabus on time. You must finish the decorations for the wedding by night. Tomorrow is the wedding. You must finish the decorations for that ceremony tonight. Tom can write poetry well. Tom can write poetry well. Can write. I can help you with that next week. I can help you with that next week. Can is a modal auxiliary. Lisa, okay. Lisa would function much better if she wasn't ill. Lisa would function much better if she wasn't ill. Okay. Now, these are ways where you try to give the modal auxiliaries. Now, if I have to give you some more examples, then it can be like this. Where would you take me this holiday? Where would you take me this holiday? You must be rest assured that he will do that work. You must be rest assured that he will do that work. We can possibly have our tour to Mumbai. We can have our tour to Mumbai. Could you please do that for me? Or could you write this passage for me? Could you write this passage for me? Will I get permission? Or Would you mind doing this? Would you mind taking up another class? That is, their permission is asked there. Would you mind? Or can you do it? We shall be attending the graduation ceremony tomorrow. We shall be attending the graduation ceremony tomorrow. You should be present at my speech, or when I am giving my speech, you should be present at my graduation ceremony. You may or may not like it. Okay, you may or may not like it. All right, we'll move into what is called as compound verbs. Now, you want more examples, please look it up to the internet. Just type auxiliaries and you will get, or auxiliary verbs, you will get them. You'll get this also along with that. We're going to compound verbs. Compound verbs, okay? Now, compound verbs are sentences that have more than one verb. Now, if you have your house over here, think this is your house and you want to lay the compound to the house. Will you do it only on one side? No, right? You will have to put it on all sides that your house is there. Similarly here, compound verbs are that which join or which have more than two verbs. Okay, write along with me. Sentences that have more than one verb. Now, these compound verbs can take certain forms. They can take certain forms. Which are those forms that we will see now? The first kind of a form where the compound verbs takes is of a prepositional verb. Prepositional verb. Now, I am very sure that you must be very thorough with what are prepositions and the different uses of prepositions, or where you use them actually. So, the first form that the compound verb takes is of a prepositional verb. Now, examples are believe in. Okay, I'll write it. In is a preposition. Rely on. Okay. Rely on. Ask for anything and it will be granted. So, prepositional verb. Believing. I believe in you. One kind of a surety that I am giving. I rely on you. I'm asking for a favor. I'm doing some action, isn't it? I'm asking for a favor. That is prepositional verb. Prepositional verb. Take for, ask for, rely on, bring upon, or bring to the notice. Bring to the notice, like this. When you add prepositions there, two verbs that are a preposition joining with a verb is a prepositional verb. The second one is a phrasal verb. Now, to digest all this at once, it may be difficult for you, I understand. Break it, write down everything that I say. When you learn, break down and study. Don't see, break down is a prepositional verb. Down is a preposition. Breaking is a verb. So you break down your notes and study them. So phrasal verb, now this is formed with the combination of a verb with an adverb or a preposition. Combination of a verb with an adverb, or preposition. So what is phrasal? What's a phrase? You say cock and bull stories, isn't it? What we studied. Cock and bull stories is a phrase. Get through, something like that. So it is formed with a combination of what? A verb along with adverb and preposition. So examples like this, tear up. Tear up, then to put with or to put up with. To put up, there is a preposition there, there is an adverb. To put up with, there is a verb also. Need not be necessary that verb has to come with an adverb and preposition. It can be verb and preposition, it can be adverb and preposition, verb along with adverb or preposition. Alright. To put up with, add on to or add on certain things. Take away, together with. Take down the notes, take down. Work on your exercises. Alright. So third form is the phrasal verb. The third form is with auxiliaries. Now you may be wondering, these are getting repeated. Yes, they are getting repeated because it also is a factor. Auxiliary, what you studied, is a different one. This, why is it showing with here again with compound verbs is compound is you're bringing together everything, isn't it? So they are taking different forms. So auxiliary is using auxiliaries. Auxiliary also acts like a helping hand there to the compound verbs that you have to add, or the verbs that are put together. Many things are put together. So auxiliaries also give a helping hand. Many forms. Now your one combination of PUC is being divided, isn't it? And then each one, see when you get your final scorecard, will only English be calculated? No. English won't be calculated alone. You will have your all other core subjects and the additional other language that you have taken. So what is happening? Joining of so many things to get one thing. Here what's the end result? A sentence that you have to frame, but these are other combinations that you can add along. So don't get confused. So here with auxiliaries, was swimming. Was swimming, will be considering, be is the auxiliary verb there, will be considering, will be meeting. Now will is a modal auxiliary, be is a auxiliary there, will be meeting. Alright, will be meeting. They are running. They is a pronoun there. They are running. Here are is a auxiliary. Running is a verb. I am hoping that you are figuring out what I am trying to tell you. The fourth form that it takes, okay, fourth form that it takes is of a single word. I'll just erase this, single word compound words. After auxiliaries, it takes the form of auxiliaries. The fourth one is single word compound verbs. Single word compound verbs. Now, single word compound verbs are whether there are two words or no two words together, what happens over here, they are connected with each other on the basis of a hyphen that is put. On the basis of a hyphen that is put, these two words are connected to each other. Now, you can form this compound words by joining two different words together. When you give a hyphen, you are joining two different words together. They can be two separate words for that matter. They can be two separate words which you join. Both these words, they may not be verbs on their own. Now, for example, if we say proof, okay, wait, double check. Double check. How do you write? Double check. Okay, this hyphen is too big. Double check. Now here, both may not be standing as verbs alone. Checking can be a verb there. What is double? Double is not a verb. So what you're checking? You're checking them twice. Double check. Cross check. So they may stand separately, two words may stand separately. They have meanings, isn't it? Double has meaning on its own, check has meaning on its own. May not be a combination of verbs together. They can stand separately and form these compound verbs, okay? Now, we'll see some compound verbs like that. Examples are color code. The color code for the college day is yellow or red. Color code. Rilla, okay. Waterproof. Waterproof, double check. Water check. Okay. So you're getting it? Double check, waterproof, color code, then wither away. Not necessarily, see, not necessarily be it different, two different combinations of words like that. But these kind of words are very rarely used. They are used, but very rarely in a day-to-day communication. So if you understand what it is more than enough for me. All right. So with this, there are examples for compound verbs that are there. Now examples go like this. I want you to see the whole lot of combinations that I gave you, the four forms that I gave, all put together, certain examples that I give for the major title that is there, compound verbs. Now compound verbs can go like this. Mary will take off her makeup before bed. Mary will take off. Okay, phrasal verb there. Mary will take off makeup before bed. The town was destroyed by the tornado. The town was destroyed. Destroyed by. Okay. Was is also a form there. Destroyed by. Sometimes we second guess the outcome. See, this is a compound, double compound word, single word compound word. Sometimes we second guess the outcome. We can give a thought to it, isn't it? Then, I really want to test drive the sports car. Test drive, single word compound verb. Test drive the sports car. Dad will be waiting at the train station. Will be waiting at the train station. At is a preposition. Be again is a form of auxiliary. You will be amazing in the role. Be amazing. Be is an auxiliary, amazing is a verb there, in is a preposition. You will be amazing in the role. Alright. The next one is transitive and intransitive verbs. Transitive and intransitive verbs. Okay, write the next one. Transitive and intransitive verbs. Okay. Now what are transitive? Okay. Now I'll give you an example first. The boy kicks the football. This is an example. Now, here transitive meaning, just take like transition, transfer, okay, transition, changing from one thing to another or a connection from one thing to another. Here, the boy kicks the football, the verb that is there must follow by an object that is there. I'll explain what is that. The verb that is there should be followed by an object which is passing over from the subject. So basically SVO, subject verb object. So subject is doing an action of using the object that is there. Okay, so basic definition, I'll write it down for you, then we'll see that example. Now the definition goes like this: a verb which must be followed by an object. A verb which must be followed by an object okay, which is passing over from the doer or the subject, that is passes over from the subject. So verb must follow an object which is passed on from the subject. Alright? Okay. Now, the teacher is teaching the students. The teacher, what is it? The teacher is the subject. Teacher is, teaching is the verb and you are the direct object. The teacher is teaching the students through YouTube. Okay, direct and indirect object. So we'll take teacher is teaching her students. Subject, verb and object. Okay, now direct object. Alright, now see here, transitive, some kind of transition. Imagine the boy is kicking the football. You imagine to do so, or you imagine some other boy doing it. Now, what has to be done? A verb. Where is the verb here? Kicks. Kicks is the verb. Alright? Then, a verb which must be followed by an object. Right? Object. What's an object here? Football. Football is the object. Passes over from the subject. So, who is passing it? The boy is passing it. So, the verb has followed the object which is being passed on from the subject or the doer. The boy becomes the subject, kicks become the verb, and football becomes the object. Okay. Now I'll give you one more example. The girls carry water from the village or to their village, whatever, that doesn't matter to us. Okay, what is the verb carrying? Okay, what are they doing? They are carrying water. Okay, object which is being passed on by the subject. Girls are the subject. Subject, verb, object. Now, next example I'll give you. Next example is, she loves rainbows. She loves rainbows. Okay. Now, first find out the verb, loves. What is the object? Rainbows. Who is the subject? She is the subject. So, verb is followed by the object which is being passed on from the subject. Alright? Okay. Another example is, I caught a cold. I, subject, caught, verb, cold, object. Leela conveyed the message. Leela conveyed the message. Leela is what? Subject. Conveyed is the verb. Message is the object. That is transitive. You are changing from there to another. Intransitive. Okay. Intransitive. These need not have an object. What is that? Verbs that don't need an object. Verbs that don't need an object. When you are doing the transition, you are here, you needed an object. Football, book, chair, whatever is something that's conveyed to a direct object. Direct, indirect object, we will deal with it in the next class. We'll understand it thoroughly. Now here, they jumped. They can jump from anywhere. They jumped into the pit. Not necessary. They can jump anywhere, isn't it? They can jump from the wall, they can jump into the water, they can jump into the pit, they can jump anywhere. They jumped. Not necessary that you have an object. They are excited. She is teaching. They are dancing. Can say, right? I am teaching. Have you mentioned I am teaching you English grammar? No. Nor have I mentioned it. So she is teaching. She can teach anything. But if you specify she is teaching English, you are giving an object there. Okay? The dog ran. It can run anywhere, isn't it? Can you specify the dog ran to the 4th main, the 3rd cross or 8th, 9th cross there? No. The dog can go anywhere. The dog ran. She sang. She can sing anything. If you say she sang the Hindi, the old Hindi song, old filmy songs, you are specifying an object. That becomes a transitive verb. When you don't need necessarily not having an object is intransitive. That is, you are not giving a transition that is likely to happen. Light was shining. The light was shining. A light was shining. Light was shining in the corridor. You are giving an object. Light was shining. It can shine anywhere. You place it in the corridor, you place it in the classroom, you place it in your room, anywhere. It can still shine. Ram laughed. Ram can laugh at anything. Ram laughed. Ram laughed at his jokes. Jokes becomes an object. I hope what you get, what you understand in basic and in simple terms is more than enough because you are going to get it for 4 marks. And why I want you to understand the basics or the background of it is because if you don't understand this and if you don't understand your tenses properly, then I am very sure you cannot be answering it. Some of you may be very thorough with it, some of you may not be. So for those who are very thorough of it, well and good, it's like a revision for you. For those who don't know, please allow them to study. You can take your time. For those who are finding it a little difficult with English grammar, see, I have compared to you it with mathematics. Just like your problems are just like your formula, grammar is such. You get your grammar background right, you will know. Otherwise, you may not be able to apply it. You will not be able to solve your sentences. So this is how we have to go. Now, a mention of an adverb was done earlier where you can use it okay. Alright. With a phrasal verb, a mention of an adverb was done. This is where with a verb you can modify, adverb can modify a verb, an adjective, okay, and then a phrase or any clause that is there. So we will not get into adverb, we will get only to verb and understand it properly. Now, what we will do in the coming class is we will work out some exercises and then with that you will get thorough with what it is. So the next class I am coming up with an exercise class for you so that we will solve as many questions as we can, as many sentences as we can. We will go with basic sentences and then move on to each one of them and understand it thoroughly. Today, if you have not understood, I want you to watch it again and make your own notes. This is what I always suggest you to do. Make your own notes, especially with grammar, because see, my point of view or my understanding of grammar may be different from what you are trying to understand. For me, it has become a routine, so it will be easy to make examples. For you, it may not be an easy or a day-to-day routine with English. Find out examples. Grammar sites are there on the internet. Go look up to them. Make your effort, put in your effort, put in your effort, and then you will find it very easy. What I want you to do on the other hand is also, see, on the other hand is a phrase. On the other hand is observe what you are talking. Maybe you can observe what I am talking also. The number of words that I use, where I use them, how I use them, or how you use them. Where do you use it in articles? Where do you use it in prepositions? Where do you use it in verbs? verbs are there in every most of the sentences that you use. Now on your day-to-day routine, if you're speaking only English, then there are n number of verbs that you put in place. If you cannot do that homework, at least observe when I am talking how I use those sentences, or what kind of words do I substitute with something else so that you can frame the sentence. Verbs may be, prepositions may be, adjectives may be, anything for that matter. I want you to keep a track of what you're listening to. Listening is very important, and with listening things make better, things get better, so your language also improves. Alright, now I want to stop at this. I want you to get, before we begin the exercises, I want you to get thorough with the background of it, the basics of it. Only when you get thorough with the basics of it, then it will be very, very easy for you, much easier than what it used to be earlier. Now you can have a reference to your workbook on page 10. Try to solve if you can. We'll work out, I will not work out all of them. I'll work out only a few of them for you for your reference and for your better understanding. The rest of it you will have to do. Maybe we can see in the coming future how we can get along and solve all of them together. Till then, see you. Thank you very much.